Welcome back to the Acoustic Shop channel. I am John here, and today, special guest, first time on the channel, it is Corey Kirkland, one of the finest guitar players. And we're gonna be talking about Gallagher guitars actually here today, and this particular one is a Doc Watson signature model special edition. So we'll talk about that right after this. So here we are one more time, going to talk about guitars. Again, Corey, glad to have him with us here. He's, in case you haven't met him yet, he is one of the salesmen over in the shop. So when you're calling and you talk to Corey, now you know what it looks like. He's a great guitar player, and we're going to be talking about guitars. Before I do that, though, I want to thank you all for joining us. If you have not yet done so, please do subscribe to the channel and hit that little bell. That way you're notified every time we have new content out. We also really encourage you to comment and all the kind of good stuff that you guys do, because the more we get to interact with you, the better it is. One, for us, we get to learn stuff back and forth, and which is great, and also helps us to, again, to maintain the channel. That way everybody knows that there are people that watch this. Can you believe there are people that watch us?
I cannot believe it, John.
I can't either. As always, we will be doing a tone demo at the end of this video. So if you want to skip past all of the talking and chatting that we're going to do about guitars, you are welcome to do that. There's a link that goes straight to that, and you can hear what this guitar sounds like. As well as there's a whole nother video that has a full performance where Corey tested every bit of skill that I have with all my funky finger twists and all that kind of stuff on a song called Little Rock Getaway, and we'll have links to that down. It is very, very hard. And anyway, have that as well. But we're going to talk about Gallagher guitars. Gallagher guitars are back. And actually, I don't know, were you familiar with Gallagher guitars? I keep saying Gallagher guitars. Gallagher guitars.
So I was familiar with Doc Watson and his kind of brand and stuff, and I remember always seeing that symbol at the end of his guitar when I was a kid, but I wasn't familiar with the brand or like what they stood for and what kind of guitars they created really at that time. Yeah,
so Gallagher has been around for a long time, I believe since the late 60s. We actually have a whole nother video where we had David come in, who is now the owner of Gallagher guitars, talked about the history, talked about all the different stuff that they have done throughout the years, including their relationship with Doc Watson and many other great artists. But they were kind of like one of the big shots in guitar making that was stepping outside the big companies. You know, you had Gibson and you had Martin and you had, I think that was really almost it, really. And then companies that were coming along strong in the 60s and 70s, such as Gallagher guitars. We had Mossman guitars. They were kind of coming up with alternatives to those brands, and they were doing it in a small shop, building really high quality guitars. And it kind of took the interest, as we know, of great artists such as Doc Watson. And that kind of brings us to this. I won't tell you the whole story because we've gone through some of that before. But this guitar is actually extra special. This is the Doc Watson signature model. Now, there's a few differences between the standard Doc Watson model that are on this. One of the big differences, this is going to be a wood-bound guitar. So this is maple-bound, looks great, has great character. They're going to obviously use some of their finer wood choices on these guitars because it is kind of a top-of-the-line model. This started as kind of a project for a certain customer who wanted a custom guitar that said a signature guitar. So they wanted to step it up a little bit. Wood-bound, that has the signature on the 12th fret. Now, I'm going to tell you a little cool story. I don't know if you know this or not, but some of you may or may not know that Doc was blind, so couldn't see. And I read this story about how they were able to get the signature to be able to put on here, and it reminded me of a story that I had, which, obviously he was very, very young, did not probably learn how to write and see a signature, so had to have help with that. So what they actually did was, it would be whoever was with him would help him write out his name to get the signature. That way you could be able to do that. And as soon as I read that, I remembered when I was young, I had a case cover for one of my guitars that kept on top of there, and I put signatures on there like Tony Rice and then I got to hang out with Doc backstage at a show we were playing together, and he was super cordial, one of the nicest guys I've ever met, and he was just great to sit and chat about guitars and talked about playing, and we played a little bit together.
Where was this at?
This was actually out in Colorado, believe it or not, at the Rocky Grass Festival out there. And I remember I asked him, I said, would you mind signing my guitar case? not thinking that through, obviously, all the way. And as soon as I said it, I felt like an idiot because I'm like, you didn't
want to come off as that guy, yeah.
So anyway,
Yeah.
what I ended up doing, he goes, no, it's not a problem. He says, what I will do is I'll have Jack help me sign my name, which is what they actually did. So he actually holds his hand and put it in Doc Watson. So that's how this was done. That's my story to it. And somewhere I believe I still have that case cover, which is really super cool.
That is really cool.
But anyway, so for those of you who are wondering how did Doc Watson sign his name, now you know. So there you go. But this is the signature model. Now this is what is a little bit different on this one, is this is a 3-piece back. And this is the first time that they have done this on those guitars. Again, this kind of does harken to that 60s, 70s period. The D35 came out and was kind of all the rage, a 3-piece back guitar. So normally done in rosewood, obviously, but mahogany, since the signature, they decided to try it on this one. This one, I believe, is the only one that has been built so far.
Is this mahogany from different areas? Or?
No, in this particular case, it's all three. So the story on the D35, for those that don't know, it was Brazilian rosewood. They were running out of pieces, and they needed smaller pieces, and then it became 3 different types. It was Brazilian, 2 sides, Indian in the middle, Indian on the 2 sides, Brazilian, and then became all 3 that way. This particular one is just decorated as a 3-piece, which is very attractive.
Yeah, really
kind of
cool.
gives it a cool, unique look. So specs on this guitar that are really cool. I like this new satiny finish neck. It is a very low profile. Are you a gloss finish or a satiny
I do like the
neck?
gloss finish. It seems to, I don't know, just feel right for whatever reason. But
I normally do, I would agree with you, a more glossy neck. I know I am by far the majority or minority, which means that you are also in the minority, Corey. Welcome to the club. Welcome. It's pretty normal for me. Whatever it is, I am the minority. But usually most people like the very fast, speedy neck of this. I'm a thumb planter, and once I get locked into position, I don't want to move.
I think you just get used to something, and over time, you get used to it.
I would agree with that. Very low profile, very comfortable. This guitar has been very punchy.
Very warm, too.
It just kind of pops out and gives you a lot more stuff. What I was really surprised at on the notes, like the high stuff, it's very bluntly percussive. The notes are not super sharp. They're very round, but yet jump out, and which is kind of a unique deal for a Sitka spruce top. I find that to be kind of unique and
sounds wonderful.
Very flavorful.
Yeah.
So, anyway, so those are the main specs on this. The big differences on this, as we said, wood binding. On top of that, the actual signature on here, and just kind of a little more care and detail on the wood choices, as well as just the overall aesthetic of the signatures. I think Gallagher is really doing a great job. We've seen quite a few in here. They never seem to last very long.
Never.
Like with all these great guitars that have been coming in here lately, we don't get a chance to fall in love with them as much as well, it's actually probably good that we don't get as good a chance to fall in love, because
I'd be broke.
I already am, friend. So anyway, Gallagher guitars, really great. Again, quick specs on this, run down. Ebony bridge, ebony fretboard, has the Doc Watson logo, maple bound with the herringbone, mahogany back and sides on a Sitka spruce top. This is an 1 3/4 neck width with a bone nut and saddle, and just a gorgeous, gorgeous guitar, something that you should probably check out. Right now, what we're going to do is we're going to kind of give a little tone sample, see what y'all think of it.
appreciate you guys watching that video. It was my favorite one we've made so far. We've done hundreds of videos, and that was the best one.
It was.
And the next one's going to be even better. If you'd like to see that, be sure you subscribe to this channel. And also, the more you comment and interact below, the more the YouTube algorithms pick it up and start pushing it out to other people, like-minded people.
Algorithms?
Algorithms, they're everywhere. They permeate the internet, and YouTube's got one, and it watches our videos, and it sees how much you comment, and then it pushes us to other people like you. And we want everyone to experience the Acoustic Shop world, where we talk about instruments, we do reviews, we got some fun videos coming up. We thank you guys so much for being a part of it, and we'll see you in the next video.